Military helicopters flying overhead with the flag of Mexico draped below them. Incredible scenes in the Estadio Azteca. Home advantage for Mexico has been so prominent in the game so far. 2 wins from 2. They are already through and guaranteed top spot. Opponents Czechia, more commonly known over the years as the Czech Republic, only here after holding their nerve in 2 penalty shootouts in playoff qualifying, needs steely resolve again. As complicated as these scenarios go, a win will surely be enough. Take 3 points and hope that South Africa beats South Korea by a lesser score, and the Czechs will take second place and the last 32 meeting with Canada. It's been a dramatic night already. Stand by for part 3 of tonight's triple bill of World Cup wonder. Czechia making 3 changes as they go in search of goals. They haven't scored from open play in this calendar year. One of those who might have been responsible for getting a goal, Patrick Schick, is not in the starting lineup. Neither is West Ham midfielder Thomas Souček, who missed out on match day 2 and misses out on match day 3 again. Another familiar name to many Premier League viewers, Raúl Jiménez of Fulham last season, now back at Wolverhampton Wanderers, is amongst the substitutes for Mexico, who all line up for their team picture in all white tonight. Hoping everything will be all right tonight for Mexico. Alongside myself, Mikey Burrows, for this one is the former Ipswich captain, Luke Chambers.
Yeah, really exciting one tonight, and we always look forward to the first couple of games going however they're going to go, but this one is where everything matters and how the results will then end up, and where the positions will be for heading into that final group stages of knockout. So it's a really exciting one and an intriguing battle today.
It's that time of a tournament, Luke, where we talk about pressure and where it comes from. If you're Mexico, there is pressure on you because you're the home team in front of a passionate crowd. As we just heard through the anthem, there was goosebumps on my arm. I don't know about you, but from Czechia's point of view, they know that they simply have to win. Forget what's happening elsewhere. Get the job done tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. I think they've probably been disappointed about how they've performed in the tournament so far, but this is a straight shootout now. They know, and sometimes they're not looking for, we've seen in previous games, teams sitting in and trying to hope for points and breakaway goals. It's going to have to be a straight who blinks first, and I think there's going to be changes from Mexico tonight, so maybe that plays into Czechia's hands and maybe makes it a little bit more of a easier opportunity, but make no mistake about it, Mexican side will be desperate to win in front of their fans.
Yeah, 5 changes from Mexico, though the most romantic of them that people were hoping for, 40-year-old goalkeeper Guillermo Ochoa had an opportunity to play at a 6th World Cup finals to join the likes of Lionel Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo, but Javier Aguirre opting to select Raúl Rangel in goal instead. Jorge Sanchez, Israel Reyes, Cesar Montes and Mateo Chavez, the back 4. Edson Alvarez, another familiar name, captains Mexico tonight. Gilberto Mora and Luis Romo in midfield alongside him. Roberto Alvarado, Guillermo Martinez and Julian Canones are the forward 3. Matej Kovar in goal for the Czechs. Thomas Holles, Robin Hranek and the Wolves man Ladislav Krejci at the back. Former West Ham man Vladimir Supal and David Dudera, the wing backs. Mikhail Sadalek and Lukas Shav, with Denis Wazinski, Pavel Schultz and Adam Klosek, their front 3. Both sides in their pre-match huddles. Final opportunity for some final words of inspiration from the skippers.
Yeah, make no mistake about it, Mexico will be desperate to go and win the next game. That'll be 3 in a row. They'll be absolutely flying into knockout stages, and listen, they had a couple of victories by 3 goals on aggregate across the 2 games, but there were still murmurings of discontent, a little bit of booing heard around the stadiums at times. So again, this side and the players coming into the side will be desperate to make their mark, to make themselves available for those knockouts.
It's been a long and dramatic night already, and you might be tempted to go to bed. No, stay with us, because anything could happen over the course of the next 2 hours. The Mexico City Stadium, the Estadio Azteca, in all its resplendent glory, as Mexico get us underway, playing from right to left as we view it. in their all-white change strip. The Czechs in red shirts, navy shorts and navy socks. Desperate to extend their World Cup adventure. It's taken them long enough to get back to a major tournament, and they had to do it the hard way, winning 2 penalty shootouts in the playoffs. They do not want to be going home early. There is still an eventuality where they may not need a fully positive result, but let's face it, a win is the bottom line, and then see what happens elsewhere. The situation Scotland find themselves in now, that nervous wait over the next couple of days as you see everybody else finish the groups.
Yeah, we've heard about all the permutations and what needs and doesn't need to happen over the next couple of days, and it's not going to be a very nice wait for the Scotland players or the Scotland fans. So an interesting one. This one will certainly go a long way to deciding what does happen.
Czechs playing around in the back to the boos of the home supporters. Move it up towards halfway. Boles infield for Hranak. Now Krejci scored in match day 1. Scored a vital penalty in those playoff games. Didn't have the best of seasons with Wolves, relegated from the Premier League. His move from Girona loan will be made permanent, though whether he ends up playing in the Championship next season is still to be seen. I'm sure there'll be plenty of interest around Europe. Adaptable midfield player, also in defence as he is tonight. Mexico midway inside their own half. Israel Reyes playing the ball in field to Cesar Montes. Back to Reyes. And to just feed it forwards and towards Quinones. The Czechs win it back. I don't think we'll need to tell you that too often, because the boos tell you the story.
Yeah, I think it's been a bright start inside the first 2 minutes. Czechia look like they're going out high press, pushing bodies forward from this left to right. And the sea of red shirts have found themselves trying to press Mexico at every opportunity when they're trying to play out from the back. So it'll be interesting to see how long they can keep that intensity up.
Rangel in possession on the edge of the 6-yard box. Waits to draw a bit of pressure, and then knocks it long, a little chest on towards Martinez. Quinones will race onto this down the left-hand side. He's got some options inside of him. Waits for a bit of support to come. Eventually arrived from Chavez. Still players in the penalty area for Mexico. Well, they're a little bit hesitant to put it in there. Alvarado went in field. Working from left to right. Keeping hold of possession, trying to find an opportunity. In the end, they'll settle for a throw, just short of being level with the edge of the penalty area.
Yeah, nice little bit of play from Mexico. The first time they've really had any possession in Czechia's half, and they've used it really, really well from left to right.
Really worked out to the right-hand side. Cross stood up deep, a little bit too deep, and headed away by Soufal. It was Jorge Sanchez, the right back, who was in an advanced position, delivering it into the penalty area. Not afraid to put it in there. Nunez on the left-hand side for Mexico. Ball bobbled away from him, and then a hefty challenge came in from Mateo Chavez into the back of Vladimir Soufal.
Yeah, no real need for that. He's right on the byline. Soufal almost looks like he's going to dribble it out of play, and Chavez, the left back, comes right in behind him and just leans over the top of him once he's gone down and has a few choice words for him.
But in wrestling off the ball, it will be a Mexico free kick just inside the Czech half. A couple of yards in from the left-hand touchline. Argentine officials tonight may well be busy. Oh, Soufal again.
Yeah, it's the same two players coming together. A couple of little smiles, no reactions as well. So that's an interesting one, because it could have easily pulled over between those two challenges in the space of 30 seconds, right in front of both dugouts.
Here with Falcon Perez of Argentina. The man in charge of the whistle, Juan Rada of Chile, in charge of the VAR. Let's hope they're not called upon. Back with Rangel, the goalkeeper, cleared it first time up towards halfway. Might have been a bit of a clash of heads there, and we are going to get a pause in play. The Czechs eventually going to kick the ball out, and there was some concern. They thought the referee should have stopped it. Hard to hear a whistle inside this stadium. 70-odd thousand making passionate support. There's Ladislav Krejci, who watches the Premier League will know he did suffer a couple of times this season with concussion, notably away at Leeds in a defeat for Wolves a couple of months ago. Missed quite a few games after it.
Yeah, it was big. Mexican striker number 22 Martinez comes across and leaves a little lazy left elbow, just catches Krejci on the temple, his right temple, just around halfway, and there's no real need to make that challenge.
If he's feeling a little bit dizzy, he won't have the altitude to do with it too. We are 2,240 metres above sea level. 7,350 feet. Just to give you some context, you'll love this, Lou. This is how sad I am that I looked this up. That is 7.2 times the height of the Shard, the UK's tallest building. That's where they're playing tonight. Catch your breath.
It's a big problem, that, trying to catch your breath inside the first 10-15 minutes.
The Czechs trying to put some pressure on. There's Mexico a little bit lazy defensively. Ball launched into the penalty area. Soufal trying to get there. It's not fully clear just yet. Nunez putting his boot through it. And the ball coming down from an even greater altitude, dropping towards the halfway line. They really did take some risks there at the back.
They did. It was Roma almost trying to dribble past 2 or 3 players around the 6-yard box. But credit to Czechia, they had 5 men in the box there, and it just really indicated their intention this evening.
Cross in again from Czechs on the right hand side, and it's struck goalwards and just wide of the far post. It's a glorious opportunity. Czech Republic desperate for a goal, desperate for a win tonight. And it drops, 14-15 yards out. Denis Brzezinski on his right boot drags it wide of the far post.
Yeah, lovely bit of play, work from left to right again for Czechia, and they're making runs forward in behind Mexico down the right channel. Soltz finds himself and then delivers almost a cutback which drifts across Lozek along the 6-yard box and then comes out to, like you say, 15 yards, and Brzezinski finds it on just the half volley as he's falling away to his left, just drags it past the far post. But a real chance and a warning sign again for Mexico.
You feel like he snatched at that opportunity. Later in the game, maybe he takes a split second longer.
I think he really needed to try and find that far corner, because we had Montes and Reyes right in the middle of the goal, which really blocked off the sight of the whole goal for him to pick another spot. So he really had to try and be as precise as possible. The technique was pretty good, especially when he was on the move, falling away to his left. But just dragged it too far to the left.
And again, another sign of Mexico defensively, just standing off a little touch. You'd expect them to be a bit tighter in the penalty area.
Yeah, there's a couple of occasions where they fell into a bit of a back five as well, but again they just give another sloppy pass away, working it out wide and onto the right hand side, just pass straight out of play from Montes, and just a little bit of nervousness creeping in inside this first 10 minutes.
Yeah, and you heard that groan there. They're actually booed off at half time against South Korea. That's the counterpoint to being the home team, as it were.
It's always going to be a difficult one. Everyone is expecting them in this stadium to come and win this game easily, but we know, and the games we've seen over the last few weeks, nothing is easy in this competition. You have to earn absolutely every single chance, every single bit of possession, every single opportunity, and it's going to be no different this evening. So it'd be interesting to see how the players, and especially the changes that have been made for Mexico, how are they going to handle this pressure and this environment.
Just over 9 minutes played, the Mexico City Stadium, 0-0 between Czechia and Mexico here on TalkSport. That's a clever ball forwards, and they've got players over, and a real opportunity opening out. Mexico still with a chance, and still they wait. Cross from the left-hand side of the penalty area and headed away by Krejci. Guillermo Martinez. Why did he not strike it? Eventually Edson Alvarez does, and a free kick is given against him for the challenge on the edge of the penalty area.
Well, Cheshire get caught on the ball and it's a breakaway. It's almost a 2v1. Martinez plays a ball across the 18-yard box just outside the D to Roma, and he looks like he's almost through on goal, but the pace and the direction of the ball is almost a little bit behind him, which allows Cheshire to get back in. He then chooses to reverse the ball back just in the corner of the 18-yard box on the near side. And Martinez takes his sweet time to try and then deliver a ball, but by that time Cheshire have recovered really well with numbers 7 or 8 inside the 18-yard box, and they snuff out any real threat after that breakaway.
Both sides having potential opportunities. 10.5 minutes played. Roma working it out to the right hand side. It's a good tempo to this game at the moment. Decent crossing from the right hand side, and going down in the penalty area was Guillermo Martinez, and the referee from Argentina wagging the finger and saying no. Huge pressure from the home support. There's a firm grip there. That's Robin Hanna.
It's certainly a coming together, and it's a brilliant bit of play from Alvarado just outside the 18-yard box on the far side. He cuts back onto his left foot and whips a brilliant ball in towards that back post. And we mentioned Martinez before. He's really competitive with a real big size, so they're going to look for that. And it's Stranac again at the back post who gets a grip of him. He's almost under his armpits with both arms around him. And it looks like it's a bit of a wrestling match. It would have been harsh, I would say, to give a penalty, but certainly questions, and everyone at the stadium was certainly appealing for it.
The Czechs have a throw deep inside the Mexican half on their right hand side. Sufal is set to try and launch it into the penalty area. It's a good distance on it, headed away from the edge of the 6-yard box, and then the follow-up opportunity from the edge of the penalty area from Schultz, a long way wide in the end.
Yeah, defended well. The long throw, it reaches almost near right level with the front post, and it's Martinez who heads it away, and it drops to Sadliek on the edge of the box and just comes in and tries to smash a laces left foot volley, but it goes high and wide towards the corner flag. And again, Czechia committing bodies forward. Again, now Mexico have taken a goal kick. They've got 6 red shirts within 30 yards of Mexico's goal, trying to make them play long and getting a high press on again.
Short goal kick taken. Goalkeeper Rangel lifting it forwards. Martinez working it down the line. Helped on Alvarado. It will be a Mexican throw. All the way backwards to Israel Reyes. Cesar Montes moving it to his right. All the play at the moment around the halfway line. Mexico trying to find an opportunity. Still twisting and turning. Gilberto Mora, diminutive figure, and Jorge Sanchez. The Czechs have pretty much everybody back behind the ball at the moment. A lot of talk about the low block of Ghana last night. Listening into Rory Jennings and Darren Bent earlier on TalkSport, a deep conversation about the merits of the low block and defensive football that's quite often goes unpraised these days.
Well, it's certainly not glamorous, is it? But when you have a real good, solid group of players that can take on those instructions, it's very, very effective.
No ball in towards the edge of the penalty area, well defended by Czechia that time. It'll be a throw in just short of the halfway line. Did you feel underappreciated in your career?
Oh, we always do, don't we? Centre halves, right backs, left backs, the lot. Even the defensive midfield players, we're getting them in the action. When you're keeping those clean sheets and you've got your strikers playing inside your own half and stopping balls forward, it's an absolute dream for a centre half. So they're never going to be happy with us in the low block, because then they have to run a lot more as we hammer the ball as far away from our goal as possible.
That's the old adage. Strikers win matches, defences win tournaments and championships. A long strike from Wasinski. It was a long way wide. It was worth a pop from a good 30-35 yards maybe. On the diagonal, got a bit closer by the time he hit it, but was always swerving away.
All a little bit too easy though from a Mexico perspective. It's just a long, simple throw-in down the line. I think Klozek just nods one inside. It's Wazinski again. He finds a lovely little pocket. He's been drifting between left and right, number 10, and an advanced midfielder just drops on the second ball unopposed, and he tries to hit half volley, like you say, and he just cuts across it and drifts out towards the opposite corner flag.
So just approaching the 15-minute mark, 0-0 in the Mexico City Stadium. I missed it earlier. Scotland beaten by 3-0 by Brazil. A result that leaves them fearful of their participation in the knockout stages. It's the top 8 of the best placed, third place teams that go through, and Scotland currently sitting 6th. Some strong, frustrated words from Steve Clarke on TalkSport earlier.
It was always going to be a tough ask though, wasn't it? Playing against Brazil. Trying to stay in the game as long as possible. Obviously mistakes were made.
Yeah, didn't make it easy for themselves, did they?
Yeah, that's even more frustrating and heartbreaking for them, I would imagine.
It's a nervous wait for Scotland. If they do make it through, they'll be here in the last 32. And then a potential meeting, if things go to plan, with England in the last 16. There's a prize on offer.
Wouldn't that be something?
I don't think the Estekel will sound anything like this if it is Scotland v England. Maybe even more vociferous. Deep cross in from the Czechs. There was a little push in there. And Montez, and it's a free kick from Klozek's challenge.
Yeah, just a hopeful ball in from the far side. Cuts inside on the right foot, and it's Klozek again. He's been very, very competitive, shall I say, with every single ball that's come anywhere near him, and he just goes through the back of Montez and gives an easy free kick away for Mexico. And lets that pressure off again. But Czech have certainly settled into the game nicely. They're creating some nice opportunities, moving the ball left to right, right to left, and creating that overload on the opposite side.
Yeah, the tempo's settled, hasn't it? It was quite frantic in the opening couple of minutes. Both sides getting into good positions. Now we're just in that period trying to work each other out. It might happen here. Roma, options either side of him. And a stretch that came from Gilberto Mora. Couldn't quite reach it. Deflected off him for the goal kick.
Czech give the ball away, and Mexico try and break quickly, but there's too many red shirts around any white players moving forward, white jerseys moving forward towards that 18-yard box, and the recovery of Czechia so far has been fantastic. 8 players around 3 Mexico attackers, and then the pass has to be absolutely perfect for them to create any opportunity.
Did he just need to commit a defender there? The Czechs held their line quite well, didn't they?
Yeah, I think playing the pass too early when they could have driven into the space. Romo again finds some time and maybe makes the wrong decision, rushes the pass.
And ball down the left-hand side for the Czechs. The challenge from Edson Alvarez. And the battle, physicality of Jorge Sanchez. There's a Czech player down. The grumble of the Mexican support. The home side giving the ball away. Just clearing up to the halfway line. And Schultz. And the Czechs are going to have to put the ball out of play. They still have a player down over by the left-hand corner flag. I wonder whether VAR will have a little look at this. Didn't seem to be too much in it to the naked eye. Needs to see a replay. There's a left arm that comes down from Jorge Sanchez.
I think they're just fighting for the ball and possession and space between each other. It's a coming together. I don't think it's worthy of Serge going down quite so heavily. He's now back on his feet, running into position, and it's a 2-3 minute waste of time, but he could have easily got back up and got on with the game. But credit to Sanchez, he's certainly been physical in that right back slot on that far corner.
You do wonder these days, don't you, as we get to the 19-minute mark, because of VAR, whether some players might just chance it and feel like, hey, there might be something to look in there. If I stay down, I give them an opportunity to look it over.
I think you can only really go off from experience of playing when someone does catch you and you know it's sort of not a normal thing to be caught by in a situation like that. Yes, Sanchez reaches his left arm round to just try and get some purchase on serve as they're fighting in that far corner, should we say, but there's nothing in that. Like you say, the VAR is always there, and we've seen those decisions being given and certainly questions asked, but credit to the referees, they've really let the games go so far, and we've seen multiple times gesturing to players, get back up, I'm not going to waste the time to stop the game for any of this, because they can see what's actually happened.
So goalless here, still goalless between South Africa and South Korea. So as it stands, Mexico, they knew they were going to be top anyway. South Korea going through with them in second. The Czechs hanging on to third, but 2 points is likely to not be enough. Need to find something. Good game, by the way, between South Africa and South Korea. Live now over on TalkSport 2. Is a festival of football at the moment. Games coming thick and fast. All the reaction to tonight's football at 6 a.m. on TalkSport Breakfast with Andy Goldstein and Darren Bent. Tomorrow, by the way, Ecuador against Germany from 7. Curacao versus the Ivory Coast on TalkSport 2. Japan, Sweden, and Tunisia, Netherlands, and Paraguay, Australia, and Turkey versus the USA. And just a sense as the forenamed Mexican wave starts going round, that the home side might have an opportunity. Free kick midway inside the Czech half, lifted in towards the edge of the penalty area. It did come off a Mexican head, but went in the wrong direction.
Yeah, just a wide free kick, just inside, sort of 20 yards inside Czechia's half. Alvarado delivers a left-footed, out-swinging delivery along the 18-yard box, which is never really going to cause any problems for Czechia, especially with big number 9 Bozek back there, headed the ball clear. But now we head into that famous hydration break.
You can tell that even the Mexican supporters didn't really want that, felt that their side were building up a little bit of momentum. It can often be a game changer, we've seen it plenty of times. So as I mentioned, from 6 a.m, TalkSport Breakfast with Andy Goldstein and Darren Bent. Plenty of reaction to what's happened tonight, especially for Scotland, you feel. And I wonder what Jim White will have to say about it. White and Jordan live from New York from 1 p.m. on TalkSport. And from 7 o'clock, it's World Cup Game Day Live, Ecuador against Germany. Adrian Durham in charge. Curacao against Ivory Coast on TalkSport 2. Followed at 11:30 with Japan against Sweden. Ollie Klink presenting the live commentary. Tunisia against the Netherlands on TalkSport 2. Saturday, by the way, just make a note, from 4 p.m, World Cup Game Day Live with Jamie O'Hara and Jason Cundy. The very best build-up to England's World Cup clash with Panama. England still leaving themselves a little bit to do. Surely,
yeah. Listen, a lot's been made of how Ghana approached that game, and felt England controlled the game very, very well. I think they created some opportunities, a little bit slower and more predictable than our opening game, but we're in a really, really good position. I think it's been a tough group. I wouldn't say there's anyone who would argue with that. I think both teams, Ghana, have shown with the quality they have on the break as well. We're talking about players like Semenyo, who took the Premier League by storm this season. Big player for Manchester City. Another player that can create something out of nothing. And we always have to be wary of that. So for me, it's almost like, I wouldn't say a free hit, but is it an opportunity to rest some players as well? We saw Declan Rice leave with a bit of a brace around his knee, I think it was, after the game, so that would be a concern. Just Tom substitution, rest a few players.
Well, it's a relevant point tonight, isn't it? Because Mexico already through, made 5 changes for this game, and you can sense that they are a little bit disjointed, and what you don't want is that to follow you on into the knockout stages when it really matters.
No, absolutely. And I mentioned earlier that yes, Mexico have won both games, won by 2-0, won by 2 goals, won by 1. Still not quite happy inside the stadium. Their fans, a little bit of booze here and there. So it shows you that everything isn't rosy in that garden, and they need to make sure that they do take that momentum through, because it's certainly something that you can really, really build as you go through the tournament.
So players making their way back onto the field. We go all the way over to the far side for the Mexican throw. Officially the clock ticks past the 25-minute mark. Still 0-0.
Be interesting to see if there's been any tactical changes, try and open up a bit of space for each side, and certainly had an impact, these hydration breaks, on the proceedings.
Sanchez has a chance to put in a low cross, headed away by Krejci. Picked up by Schultz. And goes Krosek with the challenge again. Has been physical up there. Into the starting lineup for Patrick Schick tonight. Schick has so often been the go-to man for the Czechs. They're yet to score in this tournament.
Again, big physical Martinez up top for Mexico, chasing the ball down, but again giving another free kick away. Every time the ball's gone into him so far in this first 25 minutes, he's a real big, strong boy, physical presence, but it's just bounced off, and he's given possession away 4 or 5 times now, and you can see his frustration creeping in. Yes, a good reaction to try and win the ball back, but he now gives the ball back to Czech by giving the foul away.
So you mentioned Patrick Schick, top scorer in this squad with 25 goals. Krosek just 5, but he might be able to craft something here. Spinning in the penalty area, and shot was charged down. In the end, it was Denis Brzezinski who got himself into a good position. He just couldn't quite make it pay. That's better from the Czechs.
Yeah, and it's
that little dancing forward.
Yeah, Brzezinski again, he finds himself a real good pocket on the far left-hand side, just 25 yards from goal, level with the outside of the 18-yard box, and he drives inside Sanchez and then does a little pirouette trying to get around past Montes, and as he tries to get the shot away, fortunately for Mexico, Reyes comes across just past the penalty spot and puts the block on and crowds Brzezinski out, but he's been the main threat and the main bright spot for Czechia so far. Brzezinski picking up some real good positions. He's just playing off that left-hand side, keeps drifting and finding pockets of space.
Well, Rangel, Mexican goalkeeper, passes it out of his penalty area. Cesar Montes heading out towards the right-hand touchline, looking back in field. Romo played back in. Alvarado involved as it comes to Israel Reyes. Mexico being a little bit more patient. Alvarado out to the right hand side, just about on the halfway line, right hand side of the centre circle. The pace has really gone out of Mexico's game since that drinks break.
Just spending a little bit more time on the ball, but now again Mora gives a real sloppy pass away, trying to find a pocket of space that isn't there. Czechia has really set up well, and it's almost a 4-5 with one up top. I think they're really sniffing any danger anytime they're trying to feed little balls into pockets, and I would say for Mexico, Alvarado is playing off the far right hand side and he keeps drifting into spaces and pockets, but so far the midfield two of Romo and Mora have been sloppy in possession trying to find those passes.
Israel Reyes on halfway on the left-hand touchline for Mexico. Quinones, who's been pretty quiet for the last 10-15 minutes, has to be said, ends up playing the ball off the referee, but he doesn't get the free kick. who's appealing towards the Argentine official and still having that conversation. I think the referee saying, well, I tried to get out of the way. He didn't touch me.
He was giving the ball away anyway. He's been very, very static in his movement. Quinones on this near side in front of both dugouts, and every time he's had it as well, he's been sloppy, he's given the ball away. So the quality for Mexico has certainly been found lacking at the moment. There's no real rhythm to what they're trying to do. It'll be really concerning for them at the moment.
Well, this is a position where Soufal can launch the long throw in on the Czech right-hand side. Just 5 or so yards ahead of the edge of the penalty area. He went short this time and got it back. Now some more support, and then a poor cross in the end from David Dudada.
A real disappointing piece of play from Czechia. They've sent absolutely everyone forward for a long throw from Soufal on this near side. They've loaded the penalty area. Soufal, with his experience, takes the throw in short to Dudera, who delivers an absolutely awful cross, flies over the crossbar, letting Mexico off the hook.
Well, those where as soon as he left his boot, he would have known.
I've had plenty of them, don't worry.
Come Mexico midway inside their own half. One ball over the top. Quinones will be able to get on to the end of it. Went all the way through to the goalkeeper. And there's Kovar. He's had a relatively quiet half an hour in that Czech goal. A couple of moments early on in the half where Mexicans got in and around the penalty area but opted not to shoot. And other than that, he won't have been tested at all.
It's been a real slow start for Mexico. Haven't really offered any attacking threat at the moment. We had that one breakaway where, again, the lack of quality from Martinez and Romo just made that chance disappear before it even arrived.
Chase on for Soufal. The race will be won by Reyes. Back to his goalkeeper. Had to clear it first time. And Flick didn't come to anything, and Krejci has possession. Left-hand side of the centre circle. Czechia, so often in the UK known as the Czech Republic. And there's been a lot of conversation about Côte d'Ivoire online in the last couple of days. And there's the modern world. Czechs playing it around nicely. Schultz looks to the right hand side. Holles pulled back for Soufal, took a touch and then put it through to Schultz. To Soufal, first time cross, that's a better delivery. And Bošek was tempted for a moment and then decided not to go for it, Luke Chambers.
Yeah, he puts his thumb up to Soufal, who delivers it from real deep position, just outside the technical area almost. The ball's set back and a lovely delivered ball just outside the 6-yard box. As the ball's flying in the air, Hrozek looks over his left shoulder away from goal just to maybe check there's someone coming in behind him, because it looked like he could have had a real go at that and try and get on the end of it, but just drifts past him.
There's only 5 international goals. Adam Hrozek. Nunez chasing down. He's already got a goal in this tournament. He won't reach the ball. Good defending from Thomas Holles. Seeing it behind for the goal kick. Took a whack for his troubles as well.
Just the typical defender, just trying to see balls out. And Chavez puts a ball down the line, and Quinones is trying to get away from Holles, but it's a straight race for almost 40 yards, and they come together right by the byline, but it goes out for a goal kick.
Just approaching the 33-minute mark. As things stand, the Czechs would only have 2 points, and that would have them in 9th place in the list of the 3rd place rankings. And remember, only the top 8 go through to the last 32. There is a scenario where they might still make it, depending on what happens elsewhere and goal difference. But a win for the Czechs tonight would take them above Scotland and knock the Scots down to 7th. Romo outside the penalty area, pulled back to Edson Alvarez. Looked out to Alvarado, low cross in, left footed from the right hand side, but taken comfortably at the near post by the goalkeeper.
Good bit of play from Mexico again. Alvarado, I mentioned earlier, he's been real influential and finding pockets, but he finds himself wide on that right far side. Cuts again inside on his left foot. There's no real conviction on this cross, and it drifts in towards the near post and collected by Czech. It's the first time he got in the position to deliver a cross, and Mexico were able to get 5 or 6 players forward because they've had that possession to build up to that opportunity, and they've really lacked in that so far in this opening 35 minutes. No real consistency in anything they're trying to do, so that'll be something that they'll look at to try and rectify come half time.
Vincent Alvarez dropping into the defensive line from midfield, base of the centre circle. Worked it to Reyes, who was charged down by Schultz. Reyes had to head the ball in field, but he's gifted possession away. Sufal on the right hand side, 25 yards from goal. Strong, stout defending from Mexico again. And Mora can come away with the ball. Teenager from Tijuana. Seen as a potential talisman for Mexico. The future in evidence. At the moment, neither side have got any players who are really able to get a firm grip on it. Who's going to provide that moment of magic? Mexico working it down the right hand side. Midway inside the Czech half. Alvarado infield to Romo. And they will win the free kick. Two close attentions from Lucas Serve.
Yeah, real frustrating one from Serve. Mexico are working the ball, trying to find any sort of space. Romo gets the ball with his back to goal. It's almost 40 yards out. Serve's just got his arms around him a little bit. It's a real soft one to give away, but potentially lining a delivery up now for Alvarado. He's taken all the free kicks, all the set pieces. He's been at the heart of anything positive, which there hasn't been loads of for Mexico, but certainly lining something up here.
It's quite a distance, this. I wonder whether we'll be tempted to have a go.
We've certainly seen a little bit of a difference in the way the balls have been struck this tournament, and lots of ball striking from real distances and causing goalkeepers lots of issues, but it looks like they're lining up for a good delivery, but Czech are holding a real high line, sort of 5 yards outside their 18-yard box.
6 forwards for Mexico. It is chipped in towards them. Up go the heads, and an acrobatic overhead kick from just inside the penalty area, and Israel Reyes goes flashing wide. Arguably the best that Mexico have produced in this half.
Yeah, Czech get the ball away from Krejci. He heads the ball away just outside his 6-yard box, but because Czech dropped in a real unorganised line, it drops back to Reyes, and he tries the spectacular overhead kick just inside the 18-yard box. It just drifts wide.
So the last 10 minutes of the half, 0-0 between Czechia and Mexico on TalkSport. 0-0 between South Korea and South Africa over on TalkSport 2. Following on from Scotland's 3-0 defeat to Brazil. A result which leaves their potential qualification for the knockout stages in a sense of doubt. Plenty of reaction on the way. Sport breakfast from 6 a.m. No doubt have plenty to say, and it'll be your opportunity to have your say. Scotland fans, how confident do you feel? Proud of the journey no matter what, or frustrated at what might have been? There's Mora for Mexico. Not able to find a way through. Alvarado twisting and turning. And that's the right side to Jorge Sanchez. Mora takes over, allowed to turn up and face towards goal. Might line up a shot from distance. He did, it was charged down. Comes out to the left hand side for Chavez. Can he deliver into the penalty area? Pulled back to Quinones. Worked out to the right. With more space right inside of the penalty area, flashed in and parried away by the goalkeeper and hoiked away for a Mexican throw.
First bit of good play from Mexico to really try and shift Czech from left to right, and they work the ball brilliantly. Alvarado reverses the ball back to Sanchez, and as the right back he tries to take a shot.
It was half an opportunity as it was played in neatly. A slip ball by Mora, and Alvarado probably should have done better, lifted it high over the top.
Mexico seemed to have found a little bit of rhythm, and we've just seen a replay of Sanchez's strike. He should have really delivered the ball across the box. There were 4 or 5 men at the back post. It really would have caused Czech problems. But then Mexico get another opportunity. Mora plays a lovely reverse pass just inside the 18-yard box on the angle, and Alvarado tries to open up and bend it into that far corner, but he gets it all wrong. It flies high and wide.
So 5.5 minutes to go, plus time to be added on. Hasn't been a huge amount in this half. Sufal, I don't think he kept that ball in. Back with Rangel.
The altitude has to come into play with the tempo of the game, in terms of how Mexico and Czech are really approaching it. It hasn't been gung-ho, it hasn't been end-to-end stuff. And you would say that definitely has a part to play in that.
Yeah, and we kind of mentioned after the hydration break, Mexico notably slowed their tempo, and whether their added knowledge of their home stadium played into that. They kind of thinking, let's play the long game. There's a lot of football to be played. We'll see if the Czechs can keep up their tempo, and then we'll take them in the second half.
Exactly that, and we said about how Czech are trying to really press high up the pitch, and how long can they keep that intensity and tempo up. Because so far they've done it really, really well inside the first 40 minutes, but it's starting to open up a lot more now for Mexico.
Nunez caught in possession. He's gone down, holding his ankle, the Mexican winger. And with Dudera, and a free kick given against Mexico. Cesar Montes very unhappy. And I think you can tell the Mexican supporters are not impressed by that decision.
It looks like a brilliant tackle. It's just ball played into Glozek up top, just inside Mexico's half, and Montes reads the pass, steps across him on the outside of his right shoulder, and just sticks his left leg out and wins the ball. It takes a little bit of Glozek at the same time, but it's one of those where you think it's a real well-timed tackle. It's not dangerous. He wins the ball, so you understand the frustrations of the Mexico players and every single Mexico fan inside this stadium.
So just hitting the 42-minute mark. Czechs ready to launch it up to the right-hand corner of the penalty area. Big header away. Some good defensive displays from both sides so far. Ball will be launched forwards by Sadalek in the direction of Sufal, but it will be a throw for Mexico. Mateo Chavez, I think, dummied that he was going to head it, and there was a little wry smile from him there.
He got himself in the line of the ball as a big long diagonal comes towards the corner flag, goes up to pretend to head it. Sufal thinks he's going to head it. He then looks at him and gives him a little giggle.
Free kick given. And a change on Holles. There's a looking on arm across the body from Guillermo Martinez. And a wry smile from Javier Aguirre, the Mexican coach.
Yeah, Martinez has just put his arm across Holles, but because he's 6'4", his arm just catches the outside of Holles's chin, jaw, shall we say, but there's no intent. It's just using his space and holding him off, but he gives this free kick away. But a real chance now, Czech to deliver one.
Sadalek and Sufal stood over the ball. Krejci amongst those up from the back inside the Mexican penalty area. It's Subal's delivery. Powerful header out of the penalty area. Picked up by Dudera, who fancied having a go from distance, but that is a long way high and wide.
Crazy decision from Dudera. He's 45 yards from goal, and Czech have just had a delivery from a free kick put in. Everyone's forward. You have to then use the ball at the right time, get the ball wide again, get a delivery back into the box. Ask Mexico that question just before half time. There's potential some nerves will settle in.
Well, just a minute to go of the 45. Nunez with a header on. It's it back. And Alvarado. Czech's got a foot in. That's the goalkeeper. Kovar, who smashes downfield. It's got a little bit wild in the last few moments. Cesar Montes just heads it back to Raul Rangel. Rolls it out to the feet of Reyes outside his penalty area. And there's another Czech player down who will need a bit of attention. We're going to have plenty of time being added on at the end of this half.
It was just a loose ball dropped outside the Mexico technical area, just near the halfway line. And Romo comes across, and I think he barges into the back of Sadilek. It's almost one of those real painful ones. His knee goes into the sort of outside of his quad. And you heard him have a real squeal as he goes down. The referee stops play, but he's back on his feet, wandering off towards the edge of the pitch.
So 4 minutes is what's going to be added on. Mexico in possession on the halfway line. Vincent Alvarez to his left hand side. Reyes. Alvarez. Mora. Midway inside the Czech half. Mexico trying to be patient. Or again. A sense of excitement whenever he gets on the ball. Anticipation. It's with Jorge Sanchez. Alvarado. Left-footed cross again, too close to the goalkeeper. He's tried that a couple of times in this half. I think every single one has gone straight into the arms of Kovar.
Yeah, he's finding some real nice pockets of space, and he looks like he's got that quality. Real nice player when he gets it onto his left foot, but again, there's no pace on the delivery. It goes straight into the goalkeeper's arms.
The long ball goes all the way through to Rangel. Alvarez carries it up towards the halfway line, leaves it for Romo. Alvarado to Quinones, midway inside the Czech half. Romo can try and lift it high out towards Sanchez, the right back. Looking to cross from deep towards the edge of the penalty area. Control header away by Serve. And we've played 2 of the 4 being added on. I do feel like the Czechs are going to have to be a little bit more expansive if they're going to get that goal in the second half. That'll get them through. Nunez fancies one from distance. Oh, it was flying. And he hoped that it would dip, and it didn't quite do so in time. For a moment, with the altitude that we are, from that kind of range with these World Cup footballs, there might have been a problem for Matej Kovar, but it just didn't come down in time.
Yeah, Quinones, he's been really quiet this first half. That's the first time he's really come alive. He must be 30 yards from goal, off on the angle of the 18-yard box. He cuts inside, and it looked like he was going to cross one, but he let fly. It was a really good technique and good strike. But it's always rising. I think once he hit it, it just flows over the crossbar, but the ball was struck very, 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 very well. Interested to see now Mexico really seem to have settled into a bit more of a stride. Chavez the left back and Sanchez the right back are really playing a lot higher in possession, giving Mexico that overload, and they're able to keep possession high up in Czech's half, and they've certainly used the ball a lot better inside the last 10 minutes.
That's last 30 seconds with the time being added on. Czechia 0, Mexico 0 here on TalkSport. Reaction to come from the games earlier on tonight. At half-time with Ben Fletcher. A night where Canada missed the opportunity to keep their next match in their host country. Well ahead to Miami for the last 32 after their defeat earlier to Switzerland, who ended up topping their group. Mexico, we know, are topping Group A, but who are going through with them? At the moment, it's South Korea and Czechia, are in danger of missing out on a best place third finish. They have work to do. It's 0-0 at half-time, Luke James.
Yeah, we need a lot more quality from both sides in the second half. The boos ring out as the half-time whistle goes, and the Mexican team just gathering a little bit of a huddle on the halfway line. Maybe a few questions being asked between the group of players as the substitutes all come and join that little bit of a huddle. So they need a lot more quality in the second half, but Czechia needs to offer a little bit more than they have done.
They had a couple of opportunities, didn't they, early in the half. There was one especially that was snatched at, that flashed across the face of goal. But you just feel like, we talked a little bit about it, the altitude, the conditions, it's going to make it difficult. They've got to find a way to step up their tempo if they're going to cause Mexico some problems.
Yeah, Czechia definitely started with that intent of going out and high pressing and playing on the front foot, putting bodies forward, balls into the box, but didn't really create too many chances. It lacked a little bit of quality, and Kosinski, we've mentioned him a few times, he's been the main outlet for them to try and get opportunities, and he did have that half chance that he dragged wide, but they're going to need a lot more than that if they're going to stay and head towards that last 32.
Still finally poised then at the Mexico City Stadium. It's Czechia 0, Mexico 0. Ben, thank you very much indeed. Both sides suitably refreshed and hopefully ready to up the tempo for the second 45 minutes. Mexicans already out on the field, the Czechs waiting at the bottom of the stairs, waiting to make their way up in this famous old stadium. Officially, as far as this competition is concerned, it is the Mexico City Stadium, more commonly known as the Estadio Azteca. As goes many stadia around the world these days, it does have a sponsorship name, the Estadio Banorte. It's hosted two previous World Cup finals, 1970 and 1986. Also hosted Maradona's Hand of God goal against England in 86. It's the first stadium in history to host matches at three separate World Cups. 5 matches in the World Cup 2026. All 3 of Mexico's group stage games, plus the last 32 and the last 16, which could still include Scotland, and it could still include England. So we might be seeing this famous stadium quite a few more times yet to come. Mention height as well. It is almost double the height of Ben Nevis,
Flying.
UK's tallest mountain.
Certainly looks amazing. It's an amazing stadium. It's obviously been updated throughout the years. The way they've branded it and the experience of going to a stadium like this and witnessing a game like this is absolutely incredible. And credit to them, they've got it absolutely bang on.
Yes, I did spend quite a bit more of my time than I'd like to admit on looking up the different heights of mountains. Can Czechia climb one and get themselves through to the knockout stages? As things stand, they will miss out. 9th amongst the list of the best third-placed sides. What a strange just kick out of play from Cesar Montes. Mexico all in white, going from left to right as we look at its second half. Czechs in their red shirts. An opportunity to try and launch into the penalty area, and they have been effective from set pieces. The long throw worked on match day 1. It's thrown in by Sufal. Ball Krejci, 2 Czech players got in each other's way, and a strike in the edge of the penalty area, just looped up comfortably from serve into the goalkeeper Rangel's arms.
Long throw, and it's Holez and trying to go towards the first ball. It's not the best finesse throw in. It's really flat and quite arrowed in by Soufal. They come together. Holes takes his shoulder straight in his face and he stays down. He's currently still down, but the ball drops out to Sherv, who hits a half volley just off target.
Right, you look a bit of a sore one there. Only 90 seconds in. So earlier on tonight, Scotland in all sorts of trouble. Went to talksport.com now to hear some of the reaction. Steve Clarke reportedly walking out of some interviews. And then when asked about if Scotland were headed for an early exit, replied, "Yeah, for sure, I think we're going home." There's a certain dourness about Steve Clarke at the best of times. Well, that feels a bit overly negative. Not what his countrymen want to hear. You can react to that on TalkSport Breakfast from 6 a.m. I'm sure Andy Goldstein and Darren Bent will have plenty to say, and no doubt Jim White too. White and Jordan live from New York from 1 o'clock on TalkSport. Like a high boot in there from Roberto Alvarado. So the Czechs are in Matej Kovar in goal, the back three of Holes, Panak and Krejci, Soufal and Jadera the wing backs, Sadalek, Brzezinski and Serb in midfield, Klosek and Solch the most advanced. Angel in goal for Mexico, Sanchez, Montes, Reyes and Chavez the back four, Mora, Alvarez and Romo in midfield, Alvarado, Martinez and Quinones the attacking trio. Mora's probably been the most likely to create something. He's on the ball now. Caprias on the left-hand court, into the penalty area. Ends up delivering a cross that goes all the way through for a goal kick.
Yeah, you're right. He has been the most exciting player for Mexico, but he's had that little bit of quality that his other teammates haven't. But again, he's found wanting a little bit of real poor delivery. Works some space just outside the 18-yard box on the angle and tries to deliver a right-footed cross towards the far post. And it's just angling towards goal, but it's overhit. Romo, his central midfield partner, has found himself heading towards the 6-yard box. And he stops his run and then the ball is overhit. It's just that little bit of, whether that's the changes in the team that's been made and new players coming in, it just seems to be a lack of cohesion with the Mexican team at the moment.
And the Czechs made 3 changes themselves as they were in search of victory. They actually took the lead in the previous 2 games in the group. And here comes Mora. Quinones inside the penalty area, took a bit too long to try and get his strike away. Czechs back there in numbers. Alvarado lifting forwards. Now they go behind for the goal kick, but just to give you an idea of just how stoutly Mexico have defended, it's now 14 matches at World Cup finals where they've not conceded a first half goal. They have to go all the way back to Argentina in 2010. Carlos Tevez scored it. And a 3-1 win for the Argentines in the last 16. They give themselves a platform.
Absolutely incredible stat that is. And they've seen it today. They've defended really, really well. And like I mentioned, they grew into the game as the second part of the first half opened up and they committed more bodies forward. But they're certainly very, very solid in how they've approached the game tonight.
Mexico do have 4 players to come on and potentially make a difference. Any watchers of the Premier League will know all about Raúl Jiménez, but Santiago Jiménez is an option too. A couple of experienced strikers that they have on the bench.
I don't think it'll be long before we see some changes because the game certainly needs something.
Mentioned a couple of times Patrick Schick, the joint top scorer of Euro 2020. He of that halfway line goal against Scotland in Glasgow. 25 international goals for him, but on the bench tonight Cross comes in on the right hand side from Sanchez, headed away by Holles for Czech Republic. Alvarado down the Mexican right, very heavily left-footed player though, from a Real Madrid youngster, now back in Mexico. That's a clever ball. Romo chips his cross in towards the far post, and it's comfortably headed away. And the question I think you're going to answer anyway, Luke Chambers, is why did he not strike the ball towards goal there?
Oh, it's absolutely brilliant bit of play from Moore. He finds a pocket of space 30 yards out and plays a brilliant ball through to Romo.
Romo into the penalty area again, just out-muscled this time. And Kozek drew the foul. And when you're in that type of position, in the opposition penalty area, with the angle that favours you to go across goal, we're getting a replay of it now. It's a beautiful ball in behind. He's just, a yard or two to the right of the 6-yard box. Why not strike it?
Yeah, I think the angle we're seeing there, which is from the side, he gets himself and the ball just drifts away from him outside the 6-yard box. And I think it's just too far for him to wrap his foot around it to get a strike off. But even his delivery across, it's just a little flicked. He tries to lift it towards Martinez in the middle of the 6-yard box, but it's behind him and the quality's just not there. If he just slides it along the floor, it's got potential of one of the Czech defenders just putting it in their own net, because they're just crashing back in towards their own goal. They wouldn't be able to stop themselves, so it's a real chance that goes begging. That's the first bit of quality where Mexico have had a runner forward and they've played a real incisive pass. And again, it's that man Mora that we mentioned who's been their brightest spark so far.
Yeah, not seen a lot of that tonight. Neither side's really been able to break the lines with effectiveness. The Czechs have a free kick here though, so they can launch into the penalty area. It goes deep, up go the heads, headed back across by Krejci. Danger's not over. Serve tried to put it back in, he'll settle for the corner.
First real bit of quality from Czechia, especially from a set piece, and they've certainly got the height advantage at the back post, and it's headed back across from Kozek. No one is near that 6-yard box just to head it in, and Mexico are able to have the numbers and head it out and keep it clear for the corner.
Sadalek with the corner, left-footed from the left-hand side. Out-swinging delivery to come. 53 and a half minutes on the clock. It's a deep one, goalkeeper Kane didn't get there. Comes all the way through to Soufal on the right-hand touchline. 25 yards from goal. Back in field to Dudera, who took his time and was charged down by Quinones. Kozek. Deep crossing from the right, which he was still forwards. Bouncing around on the edge of the penalty area. And eventually Mora got control of it for Mexico. Romo has done well to keep hold of possession, and now the chase is on, and it's an opportunity, and it's taken by Mateo Chavez. The left back found himself in acres of space on the Mexican right, and when the chance presented itself, he did not take two opportunities. Simple, casual finish into the bottom corner, and finally a bit of quality in the game. The Czechs 0, Mexico 1, and it's a knife to the hopes of the Czechia to get through to the knockout stages.
And the Azteca Stadium breathes a huge sigh of relief. It seems like that nervousness has dissipated, and every single Mexican player's got the most enormous smile on their faces. But you're just asking yourself a question. It's a long, hopeful ball that Romo does brilliantly. He's got three players around him in the centre of the pitch, right inside the centre circle. And you're asking, who is that on that right-hand side? It's the left back, Chavez, and he's strode forward, and how he finds himself in that position, but he just opens himself up just past the penalty spot to the right-hand side of the goal. And his left-footed finish across the goalkeeper is absolutely fantastic. You would have thought it's their talisman, Mora, or one of their most attacking outlets, but no, it's the left back, and he's played with real intensity tonight when he's had that opportunity, and he was the coolest man inside the Azteca as he puts his side 1-0 up.
Brzezinski going off, Provard coming on. An early reaction from the Czech Republic. We now need to find 2 goals. And you cannot take away from the quality of that finish. A lot would have been going through his mind.
I think it was the situation where Roma attracted 3 players inside the centre circle and was able to wriggle free and then find the right pass for Chavez. And credit to Chavez, the tackle came crashing in from Krejci, dived in, it could have easily gone down, it potentially would have been a red card. He then finds himself approaching the 18-yard mark, he steps inside it, and he's almost got, does he try and finish it or does he square it for an open goal for Martinez? But credit to him, he took his time, opened his body up, and his left foot finish into the far corner was magnificent.
Czech 0, Mexico 1. 57 minutes played here on TalkSport. A deep delivery towards the far post from Mexico. Guillermo Martinez couldn't get on the end of.
Just delivery, wasn't it, to the back post? I think if they just overload that back post a little bit more, Mexico, they seem to have most of their players towards the front area, and it was a good delivery, just drifted just in between the far post and the 6-yard line.
Just when the Czechs need to get things moving, still feels like Mexico are the most likely to go on and get the next goal.
I think it feels like Mexico haven't even got out of second gear yet. I think they're now really in a bit of a groove that they know they could really lift the tempo at any stage, but they're just doing enough at the moment.
Strong challenge in on Schultz, manages to win it back. Planak moves to the right hand side for Soufal. We talked a little bit in the second part of the first half about the tempo of Mexico. Definitely stepped things up at the start of the second half as we get towards the hour mark. And that's really having an effect. The Czechs just don't have time to get hold of the ball.
And they're lacking any intensity in any real direction at the moment, Czechia. They're not really trying. It doesn't look like they're really trying to give this a go. And I've got to say, is it down to that? Is it down to a lack of belief? Is it down to the altitude? I'm not sure what it is at the moment, but they're certainly not. They don't really have any direction at the moment. They're lacking a bit of quality, and it looks like they're really lacking a little bit of belief now.
Duder just giving the ball away on the halfway line. Scramble challenge from Sadalek to try and win it back. Pullers up towards the halfway line. Provod couldn't really find any room on that right hand side. And cleared away, and the ball has stayed in play. Pullers got there and sent it all the way back to his goalkeeper. As noisy as it's been all night in the Estadio Azteca. Home advantage playing such a part. Furthest Mexico have ever got in a World Cup has got to the quarterfinals. They've done it twice, and it was the 2 times previously that they've hosted this tournament.
They've certainly got more to offer than they've shown this evening. I think they'll have a lot of belief if they do manage to get this 3rd win in a row. They'll go into those knockout stages with real support behind them. It's interesting to see now they're defending another long throw. Again, Soufal chose to go short, and Mexico are able to snuff out any danger. And you just think you have to ask Mexico more questions than you are if you want to stay in the tournament. Throw the long throw in, because every time they've taken it short, it's just been defended and they've made the wrong decision. So that's played into their performance so far tonight.
Here's Mora up towards the halfway line, looking left and right. Players racing up with him. Jorge Sanchez made a great run through the middle. Here is Sanchez. Batters into the goalkeeper. The ball bounces off him. And Quinones finishes it off from close range. And maybe, just maybe, he's finishing off Czechia's hopes of reaching the knockout stages. Czech Republic 0, Mexico 2. A simple goal for the co-hosts.
shell box after a poor clearance from Holes. It goes against Sanchez again, and Quinones is there to react first, poke it in with his right foot, and Sanchez wheels away alongside him, and the joy is there for all to see inside the Azteca Stadium, and every single member of that Mexico squad celebrates together.
Just past the hour mark. And a potentially devastating moment for Czechia. There's going to be two changes coming from Mexico. Martinez and Romo going off. Maybe being saved for the last 32. Jimenez and Vargas are coming on. Santiago Jimenez rather than Raul Jimenez.
Yeah, I think it's what we said at half-time. It wouldn't be long before changes were made, but it just shows you the strength that Mexico do have now, and it's an opportunity for them to go for it and take the game away from Czechia. They've certainly upped the tempo, they've upped the quality, and it just shows you when you do that, and we're talking about right back and left back for Mexico, just deciding to run forward and have a bit of belief, inject some tempo. Czechia haven't been able to live with any of that inside this first sort of 15 minutes of the second half.
Has been a goal in the other game in Group A. South Africa leads South Korea by 1-0. It's live over on TalkSport 2 right now. A couple more changes to be made by Czechia as they desperately try and find a route back into it. Conversations going on as to exactly who it is that's making way here. Klosek will be one. Holes, I think, is the other. Patrick Schick and Thomas Souček make their way on.
It does make you ask the question why those two aren't in the side from the off when they do carry a real significant goal threat. As a team, Czechia have looked devoid of any real attacking intent and ideas and any real threat, so they'll be hopeful that they can make an immediate impact, because they're certainly going to have to respond inside this next 5 or 10 minutes, otherwise the game is completely away from them.
Dudera midway inside the Mexican half for Czechia. Worked wide by Serb to Sufal, who delivers a deep cross in. And it was Solch trying to get in round the back. One element we haven't really talked about, Luke Chambers, though both of the goals from Mexico, both wing-backs or full-backs, have played massive parts in them.
Yeah, we did. Goals come from absolutely nothing, just from a willingness from both Sanchez and Chavez to run forward. And sometimes when you are playing in this intensity, there's so much on the line, I think sometimes people they switch off, right? And the pressure's on, and sometimes they make decisions that they wouldn't normally make. So when you run forward and ask questions of the opposition, if you're not going to match them, then opposition make chances, create chances, and they've certainly done that. They've been a real big spark for them.
So that news from the other game that South Africa have scored is bad news for Scotland. We would see South Africa in the third position and climbing the table of the best placed third place finishers. Scotland will drop to 7th. Only the top 8 go through. In fact, South Africa will go through in second, and it's South Korea who will be there. It's a header away by Edson Alvarez.
Yeah, the skipper does brilliantly there. Sorry, the delivery comes in.
from Hranac. He's delivered it really deep, but it's a long raking ball towards the back post. It just drifts along the 6-yard box, and it looks like Schultz is going to have an easy header inside the 6-yard box. And credit to the captain, he's there to head the ball away, and it's out for a corner.
Sutherland with it, left footed from the left hand side, out swinging delivery. Oh, how the Czechs need a set piece to work for them again. Not this time though. Outside the penalty area. Out down that right hand side to Pravard. And it will go behind for a corner. You can see why they brought him on, Lukáš Pravard. He's a big old figure. And he will be a target. Six red shirts in the penalty area to aim for. Sufal takes, right footed from the right hand side. Outswinger, it comes out, it's launched back in, but a long way over the top of the crossbar from Dudera.
I've mentioned Dudera in the first half. He's had a shot from 45 yards from one set piece. It's now come out to him. The ball is bouncing almost just under shoulder height, and he's trying a side volley off his right foot. It's just drifted 30 yards above the crossbar. They're the key moments where you have to make the right decision to keep the pressure, to build momentum, to give yourself a chance of getting back in the tie and in the game. And he's just not done it again. It's a poor decision, which is sort of riddled through the team at the moment for Czechia.
So the hydration break, as it stands, Mexico topping the group, 3 wins from 3. They will play Scotland in the last 32. That is as it stands. South Africa's win, if it stays that way, against South Korea sees them leapfrog their opponents into second place. They will play Canada. That game will be in Miami. And then South Korea will take the third place spot to go and play against Egypt. But South Korea on 3 points. But by virtue of having a better goal difference than Scotland, would go above them in that third place ranking table. And that's why there was so much concern at the Scots 3-0 defeat to Brazil earlier on tonight on TalkSport. Plenty of reaction from Steve Clark to come. Head to talksport.com now. And across our socials. And then, of course, from 6 a.m, TalkSport Breakfast with Andy Goldstein and Darren Bent. Your chance to have your say. And then White and Jordan live from New York from 1 o'clock. I'm sure Jim White will have plenty to say.
There'll certainly be some reaction, especially to the negative comments from Steve Clark. And rightly or wrongly, he's written off his side's chances. And it looks like they are going home at the moment, but still, anything can happen. There's still plenty to play for, especially in the South Africa game.
Well, there's only Cape Verde who are below them in the top 8. Then you've got Belgium, Congo and Ecuador. Congo and Ecuador only have the 1 point. Senegal, bottom of that third place ranking table, yet to pick up a point in the contest. I think they play Iraq next. So they may well be confident of getting to at least 3. They are -3 on goal difference, the same as Scotland at the moment. But a big win against Iraq, and suddenly they're going above the Scots. All these permutations, you almost need a degree from Oxford or Cambridge to try and work it out at times. Certainly better than my GCSE level maths qualifications.
It's a tough one, isn't it? But it's not looking good. So much football left to play still.
Mateo Chavez, who started for Mexico tonight, the youngest goal scorer for Mexico in a World Cup match since Javier Hernandez in 2010 against Argentina. His father Paulo actually scored twice for Mexico. Runs in the family. Mexico on the verge of keeping a clean sheet in all 3 group stage games. Last team to do that were Uruguay in 2018. And the last host to win all 3 group stage matches were Germany all the way back in 2006. They've been effective, haven't they? They've paced themselves really well in this game.
They have. They've certainly grown into it, and maybe those changes, like we said before the game, have had an impact on their flow. And again, they're making another substitution now. But it's the questions to be asked. And it's the man Mora going off. He's been really influential, the young man in that middle of midfield. He's had a big part to play in both the goals, and any real positivity tonight. And he's done very, very well. Really impressed by him.
Alvaro Fidalgo will come on for him.
Back to your point, winning 3 games in a row in the group stages of the World Cup is a massive achievement. And you ask yourself, well, why haven't there been those boos? What has been wrong with those performances that isn't keeping every single fan in the Aztec Arena happy and smiling? So they've still got their work cut out.
Pravad to Soufal, crossing from deep. Trying to commit more players into that penalty area now. Thomas Souček was up there a moment ago. Attempted crossing from Sadalek. Quick throw in taken. All the way inside the Mexican half. Guerrera's ball forwards. Smashed away. Looked like the goalkeeper wanted to come through it for a moment. Cesar Montes deciding to get it clear. No reason to take any risks as he'll go harmlessly behind for a goal kick. And the television camera's just picking up Guillermo Ochoa warming up. 40-year-old goalkeeper trying to play in a 6th World Cup finals. I think that could be the most popular substitution going.
Oh, the volume will certainly raise if he appears from the dugout after his warm-up. And that change is made. And what a nice touch that would be. This game is looking like it's relatively straightforward now for Mexico to wrap it up. Czech haven't really responded to any of the goals, and even with the hydration break, nothing seems to have changed too much. They're just getting the ball wide and crossing every opportunity, but they're not working any real spaces, any real overloads. The crosses have been high, loopy, hopeful crosses, no real quality on the delivery. Soufal's tried his best from the far right-hand side to deliver them with quality, but they've just failed in that aspect to really ask Mexico any serious questions. Mexico have really strolled through this game so far.
Well, we shouldn't really be surprised at the quality of this Mexican team. They may well have gone out of the group stage in Qatar, but before that they'd made the round of 16 in 7 tournaments in a row. Always quietly effective. They've experience, and now adding in that real touch and flavour of youth. Seen it with Chavez scoring the goal tonight. We've seen it from Mora and the way he's played the game in midfield. It's a good combination.
They seem to have a real good balance at the moment with experience and, like you say, the youth and exuberance. Just got to see this one out corner.
Corner hour to go. Corner left footed from the right hand side, headed away comfortably. Soufal will have time to go back towards the halfway line. Wanted to try and launch it forwards, instead goes infield to Dudera. He'll play it up towards the edge of the penalty area. Drops here for Schultz. That's the right side of the box, clipped in towards the figure of Souček. And in the end, fouls his man on the edge of the 6-yard box. And Mexico will have a chance to clear their lines.
Yeah, the ball was delivered in, and it was actually for the first time really directed at Souček with quality. It's drifted left foot cross to the back post, and it's Montes and Sanchez that are in there trying to stop Souček. And Souček's head just crashes off Montez's back right along the 6-yard line. He goes down, just gets to his feet gingerly. A let off again for Mexico. They haven't really had to just head one clear, but then Czech make the wrong decision, or a little bit of lack of quality on the second phase of things.
Czech 0, Mexico 2. Andy Warriors and Luke Chambers with you on TalkSport. He's saying tonight, it's this morning now, isn't it? UK time. And we are going to get to see Guillermo Ochoa for cap number 154. He is stripped and ready. An appearance at a 6th World Cup finals, joining the likes of Lionel Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo in a very special club. Jorge Sanchez's cross, Quinones' header, it's high over the top of the crossbar. He may well feel he should have done better.
Yeah, I mentioned the quality that Czechia have shown from their crosses, but Sanchez puts in a brilliant ball from right on the near touchline, right to the back post, and Quinones has got a free header and all the time in the world to pick his spot. He just mistimes it and then heads it over the crossbar. But what a moment here. Ochoa coming on, what an absolute incredible achievement. 6 World Cups.
Huge hug from Rangel and tears in the eyes of Ochoa. This is a special moment indeed. And how about that? Edson Alvarez gives him the captain's armband as well. If this is to be a farewell appearance for the 40-year-old, he'll be going out in style. He may well be called upon later on in the tournament, you never know. But an incredible servant to Mexican football, deserves a send-off on the grandest stage.
Absolutely incredible touch, and what that will do for this Mexican squad and the fan base as well. It's the right thing to do for me, and hopefully he won't have too much to do, which his counterpart Rangel hasn't had in this opening 78 minutes, and will just be a bit of a bystander, because Mexico have certainly been by far and away the better team in this second half.
Jesus Criado came on as well in that moment. About 11 and a half minutes to go, plus time to be added on. Mexico corner, left footed from the left hand side. Edson Alvarez amongst those in the penalty area that waits for a delivery. Headed away by Souček, further on by Pravad. There's Guillermo who sends it back, and Ochoa probably didn't need me to say that. The cheers told you all you needed to know, but he actually managed to touch the ball.
Yeah, ball played back to him, and he clears it all the way up the pitch, all the way through to Kovac. Jimenez can't get on the end of it. A real nice touch. But Mexico have really controlled the tempo now. Almost got themselves a third goal. Quinones finding some space, just touch letting down, trying to get through Czechia's back four. Czechia aren't really responding, like I said again, since the hydration break, nothing's really changed. Soufal's just come out and finds himself on this left-hand side. But nothing's changed for them in terms of how they're approaching it and trying to get themselves back on the score sheet.
Czechs trying whatever they can, including shooting from what may be described as a long way out.
This will be the third time that I've questioned the decision from Dudera, the left wing back. He finds himself 40 yards from goal, and he's had another shot which has gone 10 yards wide of the far post.
You know when it's that moment where there's been talk about the footballs and talk about the altitude and all these different elements, and whether you just feel like he's taken that to heart a bit too much and thinks, do you know what, I might as well just shoot from anywhere.
But also, if it was someone who was renowned from scoring from even 25 yards, let alone 40, he'd probably forgive them if they had 2 or 3 pops a game. But it's the left wing back playing off his right foot with another shot from over 35 yards away.
I'm saying he needs to know his role. Maybe pass the ball to somebody else. Here come the Czech. Soufal has switched to the left-hand side since the changes, and he's going to get inside a free kick and another chance to launch it into the penalty area. Still got 8.5 minutes to play. We need an absolute miracle in Mexico. But a goal back here might just start to raise the tensions. Mentioned before, they haven't scored from open play in this calendar year. The Czech Republic. Set pieces have worked for them. Will it do so here? Ball delivered into the penalty area. Awkward bounce. Acrobatic clearance. Czechs with a chance to try and put it back in. Pavard. And launch it from left to right. Chested out comfortably. Nunez forwards. Jimenez trying to force his way through, but Soufal got back to him, dispossessed him just outside the penalty area. Can't blame the Czechs for taking risks and almost going man for man at the back. Schultz brings it forwards down the Czech left-hand side. Easily dispossessed though by Jorge Sanchez. He's been impressive tonight in that right-back position. Never stopped running.
Both fullbacks have been really impressive, and Chavez has gone off now, but they've really had that attacking intent, and I think after that first 25 minutes they've really started to grow into the game, give Mexico an outlet in wide areas higher up the pitch, which allows them to outnumber teams in and around that central area, and they've done that really well tonight, and they've had a massive part to play in the outcome of the game. Both of them, fullbacks left and right, involved in both goals. A real positive performance for them.
Another couple of changes being readied by Czechia. Ochoa in possession. Still out towards the left-hand side. He's the oldest Mexican player to feature and the 6th oldest player in World Cup history. The threaded through ball goes all the way through to his opposite number, Kovar. He is the 7th player aged 40 or older to appear at this World Cup. Only 7 players in their 40s had appeared in the first 22 editions of the competition.
Players are certainly going a lot longer than they did 10, 15, 20 years ago, and credit to management and team for seeing that, because again, players can be written off, and they have. I've seen it in the past where your age has a big part to play.
Thomas Souček is down. He tried to charge down Ochoa and his foot slipped. And he rolls his ankle. And that really did look sore. And I think they're going to call for the stretcher. And West Ham supporters might have some grave concerns at watching that.
It's a real concern for him, West Ham and the Czech Republic. He's just planted his left foot and it's almost rotated internally under the weight of his body, and that's never a nice one. I've had multiple of them and they're so painful, and all his teammates are now crowding around him. There's real concern for him. And the stretcher now coming onto the pitch, and he's just sitting up now, just getting back to his feet. He's a real tough competitor, is Thomas Souček, and hopefully he'll be alright and it's not too bad.
We might have to rethink some of the changes they were preparing. 4.5 minutes to go, plus time to be added on. Still plenty of football to come across the TalkSport network. Tomorrow from 7, World Cup Game Day Live, Adrian Durham presenting. Ecuador against Germany and Curacao against Ivory Coast is on TalkSport 2 from 11:30. Ali Klink is here with Japan against Sweden and Tunisia against the Netherlands on TalkSport 2. And then from 2 a.m. it's Paraguay against Australia and Turkey against the USA. And Saturday the build-up to England against Panama begins from 4 o'clock. World Cup Game Day Live with Jamie O'Hara and Jason Cundy. Adrian Durham presenting. Also Croatia against Ghana on TalkSport 2. It is a feast of football at the moment. And the best place to dine is right here on the TalkSport network. And if you are a Scotland fan, or just an interested observer in the fate of the Scottish, and you'll want to be part of TalkSport Breakfast from 6 a.m. With plenty of reaction to that 3-0 defeat to Brazil. And then results tonight in Group A will make it all the more difficult for the Scots to get through. 3 minutes to play here. Oh, Dudera once again, and Luke Chambers has his head in his hands. He has smashed the ball forwards from just inside the half, needlessly giving away a goal kick. I mean, there is route one, Luke, and then there is that.
Listen, I made a career of putting the ball in the channel and making big clearances, but it's the fact that the ball's rolled to him outside his technical area on the halfway line. He's flicked it up first and then just volleyed it as far as he possibly can towards goal. There just seems to be a real lack of composure at the moment, and I'm not trying to target him, but his decisions and the opportunities that have arisen for Czechia have been so few in between that when they have come around, the decisions have been baffling, and that's the reason why they find themselves heading home.
Shorty on for serve, and Soika came on for Souček. The sub having to be subbed, and we both mentioned West Ham fans will be hoping that that's not too seriously an injury as West Ham prepare for life in the Championship next season. Talk about the feast of football, all the best EFL coverage across the TalkSport network as well, not just the Premier League. The new season will be here soon enough. This extended World Cup still has plenty to go. And how far this Mexican team might go in it is the question. Scotland potentially up next. And then, if things go to plan, it could be England in the last 16, again in the Azteca, which is becoming a fortress. And whether it's a home nation or not, I don't think anybody would be wanting to go and play there.
They've certainly been impressive in the second half, and they've really nullified anything that Czechia had to throw at them tonight.
Nunez trying to feed it forwards. They get another chance. Worked out to Alvarado. And the ball in field. Back to Alvarado. Up towards the edge of the penalty area. Out to his right hand side. Clipped in by Fidalgo. Header away and helped on. It's a frustrated looking Czechia right now. They get the throw, but they know that their World Cup adventure is coming to an end, having waited so many years, since 2006, to be back in the World Cup finals. They were put through the ringer to get here. Penalty shootouts in the semi-final and final of the playoffs. And it is ending early. Solch in field. We're into added time, of which there'll be 6 minutes. Czech's trying to work it down the right hand side. Pavard. That's intercepted. Leonardo got hold of it. Alvarado out to the right hand side. And Edson Alvarez charging forwards. Then hitting a big crossfield ball from right to left. Nunez just outside the left hand side of the penalty area, dispersed by Pavard. There was a sign of a team who didn't feel the need to go for a third.
No, it's a real interesting decision from Alvarez to smash it right across the pitch. to Quinones, and he tried to do a spectacular control, stepping over it, and a bit showboating now.
Solskjaer's attempted effort from distance, blocked on the edge of the penalty area. It's catching as far as Czech are concerned. Shoot from anywhere. Playground rules.
Real desperation now from Czech, and it's all a little bit too late, isn't it?
Soufal to try and deliver into the penalty area. Headed away comfortably. And Mexico have possession. 4 minutes still to play. And again there are gaps for Mexico to exploit. Jimenez could play through. Oh, that was a risky challenge. Very risky from Obed Vargas. There was a late sending off for Mexico in game one. They don't need another player being suspended.
It seemed like it was a studs up, wasn't it? Right in the middle of the pitch, and Sadilek, credit to him for Chechu, gets himself up really, really quickly. That's probably why there isn't any further action.
Soufal, midway inside the Mexican half. Czechs working it out to the right hand side, left-footed cross in swinger, but they come through to the far post, and it's that man Duterte, or at least he was striking from a lot closer to goal this time. But he's attempted a Marco van Basten-esque or Paolo Di Canio-esque volley from the left-hand side of the box, in step, and wasn't on target.
He makes good contact with it, but again, I think the decision-making of that, it's a long raking ball across the pitch, and he's almost 2 or 3 yards inside the 18-yard line, on the side and the edge of the area, and he's tried to volley it side foot with his right foot back across the goal, and the option would have been just to keep it alive and get it back across for your teammate.
Here comes Alvarado. Here's Jimenez into the penalty area. Chance to seal it. Comes back to Alvarado. Teed up. It's 3. Look out for Mexico. 3 wins from 3. 3 clean sheets and 3 goals tonight. They are a force to be reckoned with, the co-hosts.
And again, it comes from a willing runner in behind Checha, who look absolutely out on their feet. And it's Jimenez, the striker, who just gets himself away. And you're thinking, can he replicate what Chavez has done for the first goal? Just open up his body on the left foot, but he takes too long. And credit to Kovacs, who comes out and snuffs out the danger, but it just drops to Alvarado, who had all the time in the world. Will he take the strike on himself? No. He takes his time. He brings others into play. Checha are trying to get men behind the ball, and he just lays it on a plate by the penalty spot into Fidalgo's path, and he smashes it just across the goal into the top left-hand corner. And again, Mexico, when they needed to be, are absolutely clinical, and they deserve the 3-0 victory and 3 wins out of 3 in the group.
Well, if Scotland do get through, they face an almighty task. Mexico in Mexico City, in the Azteca. There are a few tougher tests in this World Cup than this. And the Czechs, who came into this game with so much hope, well and truly beaten.
Mexico have just been too good. They've had too much to offer, and again, I think they've got another couple of gears that they can go through. I think the substitutions again have made a difference. They've given them energy and a bit more oomph, shall we say, but when they've needed to, they've just turned it on.
Still got a minute to play. All the way back for Kovar. It's Mexico's biggest World Cup win since 4-0 against El Salvador in this stadium all the way back in 1970. So many of us weren't even born.
And it seems a long time ago since they were booed off at half-time when it was 0-0. Disappointing first half, wasn't it? But they certainly came out in the second half, and that added intensity that they did and they had, which was given to them from both their fullbacks, has been a different level this second half.
And the feel-good factor that will spread throughout the nation. It will be infectious. Mexico safely through, top of the group. Another hugely impressive victory. 3 second half goals. They blew Czechia away. And whoever faces them next is going to face an almighty battle.
Certainly added that in with the fan base and the good feeling that we're now witnessing.
Ochoa coming on for his 6th World Cup. Everything that could have gone right for Mexico this evening has. They've rested players, they've made their changes, but again they've had so much more quality than Czechia. But no one will want to play this Mexican side in the round of 32, let me tell you that.
They just managed to get a bit more tempo, didn't they, second half? We spoke at the end of the first half about how they'd slowed things down and whether that was deliberate to take advantage of the altitude and conditions, tire Czechia out and then punish them when they could. And after half-time, Luke Chambers, they just seem to have a different gear, and that's frightening for teams.
Well, it is, and against a side that were desperate to stay in the tournament and give themselves a chance of going through in Czechia, and they just didn't have an answer. They had no energy, they couldn't keep up with the intensity that Mexico played with in the second half. And if they could do that again from the start, and we mentioned another really, really impressive stat that they haven't conceded a goal in the first half of major tournaments for a long, long time. It's really, really impressive, and what a performance and what a moment.
Yeah, 40-year-old Guillermo Ochoa, the Mexican players surround him, bouncing and celebrating. They are lifting him up. 154 international appearances, an emotional moment in the game. Careful with him, they don't want to drop him and injure him. They might need him later on in the tournament. Smiles all round for Mexico, safely through. They're looking impressive too. It's all going their way. Mexico 3, Czechia 0.